All right, what's going on, everybody? Gibby Card Stacks here, and I have the best product of the year, 4 hobby boxes of Bowman Chrome University 2024. I don't rip a lot of wax, but when this comes out, I turn into a feral animal. Let's jump right to it. All right, 4 hobby boxes. This will be a longer video. I'm going to break down every single player that we pull. No one knows this checklist like me, so I'm going to give you a deep dive on each of these guys, or at least some background information for everyone that we pull. So 2 autos, feels like a couple numbered cards per box, refractors, X-Fractor, purple shimmers. We'll go 1 box at a time. I'm going to enjoy this and rip open 1 pack at a time. See what we get. I don't know. All right, Jacob Zena. So he is a Elite 11 quarterback. He started at Baylor, never started. He just kind of sat there, headed down to UAB, was the starter, injured his shoulder, and now he's, I think, out for the year, lost his job to Gavin Sawchuk. Sophomore, looked really good at the end of last year. If this product came out in July, I would have bought all the Gavin Sawchuk. He dominated Arizona in the bowl game, but just not a good year for OU at all. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity. And Rocket Sanders Raheem, a 1,400-yard rusher at Arkansas, and our first refractor here. Oh, color already. Okay. Looks like an O lineman. Oh, Torian York. Freshman All-American has started a lot of games for A&M, so okay. I mean, he's a younger guy. I'm going to penny sleeve this up. We'll throw it in the background. So we go, purple to 399. I don't love the numbering on the front this year compared to years past, but who am I? I like the color on the border. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I like the full color. I don't think I really care, but I think I don't mind it. Ashton Daniels, kid from Buford, Georgia. He won state 3 years, I think. You know who didn't win state at Buford? Dylan Raiola. So take that for what it's worth. Jackson Dart, I went heavy on him. Ole Miss on paper looked like a really strong team, just couldn't get together. And he, not very good in crunch time. And then Aiden Childs on the path to glory. I really like these inserts. I'm just going to go ahead and go Noah Fifita. There we go. That's who I want. Arizona quarterback. Will he transfer? I don't know. He's got another year of eligibility. I feel like he could kind of pick a school, just a down year for Arizona. Bad O-line play, coaching turnover, all that. It'll be interesting. Path to glory, though. I like these because that's the schedule. I'm going to keep one of these in my wallet for Arizona just to flex on people with a little pocket schedule. So Aiden, not one of my favorite guys in the product. I find him to be a smidge overrated. I'm going to go inserts over here, base. Just for me, I don't know. It's just all potential and hype, and he's so young. Oh, my God. But he has like 18 turnovers this season. Not good. Cade Klubnik having a great year with Clemson. 2nd year under Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator. So good for him. I thought he would have transferred at the beginning of this year. DJ Lagway. This is the guy who you want long-term wise. Freshman, I went in on his cards. He was in the national packs. And I was like, hey, if Graham Mertz can start all year, let him sit, let him marinate, and let that hype build from February to July to August. You know there's going to be so much hype and content. Like, hey, he's a first-year starter. He was the number 1 quarterback in the country over Dylan Raiola. So I don't know. I really like that one. We'll go Michael Williams, a guy that I really like, 6'5", 275, really long. I expect him to go pretty high in the draft. And, oh, that's an auto. Jordan James, that's not a bad auto at all. I'll take that for sure. He's a nice little running back. When Oregon had Bucky Irving last year, I was excited for Jordan James. I'm like, man, this guy's going to have the backfield all to himself. So that's not a bad one at all. I think Oregon and Texas will be the national champion picks for me. I've been on that for a little bit now. Dylan Gabriel was my Heisman pick. Unfortunately, he just didn't have huge numbers. They kind of struggled early. Dane Key having a great year for Kentucky, but 2nd year, nothing amazing there. Dominic Lovett, transfer from Missouri. Just not a dude. I think he really could have stepped up with that, void that McConkey and Bowers left, and just hasn't really done much. Raymond Man on Tez Johnson, one of my favorite guys. I was really hopeful he would be in this product. He's 5'10", 160 at best. Really nice receiver. I'd put him top 5 in the country, just with his size, though, not going high in the draft. And then TJ Finley, transfer from Louisiana State, Auburn, Texas State, then Western Kentucky. Didn't really find his footing in the SEC. Went to Texas State under G.J. Kinney and lit it up. They brought in Jaden Laura. He didn't like that. He left for Western Kentucky, started, and I get it. That's, a great offense under Helton. He's produced a lot of good quarterbacks. got hurt, and Caden Veltkamp took his job. So that's unfortunate for TJ Finley. But I like him. I think he's done in terms of eligibility, so that's unfortunate. Eugene Wilson, he is a freshman All-American 5-star kid. I really like him. I'll throw that there. And then Walker White, high 4-star kid out of Arkansas. We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of Auburn and just, everything that, I don't know. I just don't think they really have had great quarterback play. Gavin Sawchuk again, and Mark Fletcher. Nice little sophomore running back. Oh, inserts. I need to get better about this. Nice little sophomore running back for Miami. I think he's kind of like the CJ Baxter of Miami. Just he'll be solid in a couple years. Brady Cook, disappointing year, shoulder injury kind of held him and Missouri back all season. Ben Morrison, Phoenix kid, projected first rounder, but he tore his ACL, which is so unfortunate. One of those things. Do you go and come back a year? Do you take your stock now? I don't know, but I really like Benjamin Morrison. I watched him coming out of high school, and he's pretty solid. CJ Donaldson, I'm a CJ Donaldson magnet. I ripped open 8 blasters, converted tight end to running back. He's a bowling ball of a guy. Gets into the end zone. I like him, but just not who you want. And then Will Howard, updated uni on that transfer from Kansas State. He's fine, We'll see. Ohio State's just kind of there for the playoffs for me. I'm not super high on them. Amari Daniels, he's been a backup running back his whole career, having a career year this year with Ruben Owens going down, who's also in the product. He dropped the touchdown or 2-point conversion to win the game. Ashton Jeanty, that's who you want, which is unfortunate. He's the number one chase. Like, if he wasn't having this monumental year, who are you chasing in this product? Like, as a first perspective, Ryan Williams. So far we're getting a lot of good firsts here. Joseph Manjack, Houston, originally signed from Texas, signed with USC, came back to Houston. Do-it-all guy, though. He's a good athlete for Houston. Caden Prather, not a guy that, if you'd rather have Ty Felton from a Maryland depth chart, but Caden, I think, 600, 800 yards each of the last 2 years. He's fine. I don't know. Nothing there for me, though. Dylan Thieneman, one of the best safeties in the country. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Ryan Walters is probably getting fired, probably the worst Power 4 team in the country. He does have ties. His older brother went to Purdue. He's got a long lineage there, so I'd be interested to see if he transfers, but that's a pretty decent player. Evan Stewart in his updated uni, 5-star kid. I'm not a big fan. Just he wasn't it at Texas A&M. I think he's incredibly overrated, but that's just me. And there we go. Not good from an auto perspective. Nicholas Vatatio, Middle Tennessee State on the green. Good auto, or good autograph, but not who you want, which is unfortunate. I hit both autos in my first few packs here. Middle Tennessee State has just had, they don't have a run game, so they throw it a lot. He's had a down year. I think he hurt his shoulder. No, I don't think he's been hurt, but just, kind of a down year. And then Joey Aguilar, JUCO kid from California, was Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year, Freshman of the Year, did everything for App State last year, kind of a down year there. So not thrilled with the Nicholas Vatatio auto, but Jordan James, certainly a nice one there. Now I guess we're just searching for color, purple shimmer, and from there. Rod Moore, not in the autograph checklist. He tore his ACL before the season even started, which sucks because he's one of the best safeties in the country. More CJ Donaldson, and then Tetrell McMillan, wide receiver number 1, coming off the board. I anticipate 6'5". Nobody has his hands, run after catch, all the abilities there. I don't know. I'm very high on him. And Stephen Jelly, a nice one there. I predict he's the future starter at Notre Dame. He's just kind of been sitting there waiting, getting groomed. He lit it up in the bowl game last year, was Tony the Tiger, Sun Bowl MVP. Cardinal Tate, guys are high on him at Ohio State. Just hard to break through when you got Mika Ibuka and Jeremiah Smith, but he's got some potential there. Francisco Maui Noah, he's a American Samoa kid, came to California for a senior of high school, turned it up, went to Wazoo, parlayed that into a transfer at Miami, and been solid for them. And then more Ashton Jeanty, very nice there. Hopefully that's still like a $10-ish card today. And then Penny Boone from Michigan went to Martin Luther King High School, won a couple state championships, signed with Maryland, didn't really play much, went to Toledo, and then from there had like 1,400 yards last year, bowling ball of a back, really strong runner. Then transfers to Louisville for the spring, doesn't really crack the depth chart, and then ends up at UCF. Davison Igbenosum, transfer from Ole Miss, freshman All-Americans, has started all these games for Ohio State. Eric Singleton, freshman All-American again. I really like that about Topps this year in the checklist. They've really, gotten a lot of All-Americans, freshmen, all-conference players. Eric Singleton, definitely one of those guys for me. Hey, that's not a bad one. DJ Giddens on the color match. I love Purple Shimmer color match right there. And then I'll just go Sean Adkins, and then we can talk about DJ. But Sean Adkins, a walk-on, the leading receiver all-time at USF as a walk-on, like regardless of scholarship or walk-on. Now he's on scholarship, wears 38 because that's traditionally 30s are like your walk-on numbers. So I like that about him. Kind of a hard hat, lunch pail kind of guy. But DJ Giddens, Purple Shimmer, I like that one. He's a local kid to Kansas. Freshman year just tore it up. They brought in Trayshawn Ward, who's also in the product, and I really like DJ Giddens. Fun runner. Jalen Buckley, he was MAC Freshman of the Year. One of two freshmen, I think, to have over 1,000 rushing yards last season. So something to look out for. Jerwan Newton, we'll see what he does in the draft. He's the older brother of Jerzon Newton, who is at Illinois now with the Commanders, I believe. He's got they've got like a brother, four brothers. It's like Jershawn, Jaquan, Jerzon, and I don't know. It's crazy. There's TJ Finley again, and then Ricky White, a guy that I really like out of UNLV. Kind of a slow start with all that drama with Matthew Sluka this season, but has kind of turned it up. So that's good. Braden Schrager, multi-year starter at Hawaii. They're just not having a good year. Good offense under Timmy Chang, and I don't know what it is. I haven't watched too much Hawaii this year, but really strong offense historically under Schrager, and then just strong receivers. But he's going to be a good seller because of Hawaii, and it actually looks like they don't have the logo. I don't know if I noticed that on any others. I'll have to look. Ontario Brown. So I did graphics for NIU for a spring and summer and a little bit of fall. They had nothing but great things to say about Ontario Brown. I really like him. Bowling ball, I think he could be decent for the draft. And then Lawrence Arnold, receiver at Kansas. I think he's local. He might be from Florida, though. I don't remember. And he has led the team in receiving each of the last 3 years. So he's been a solid little receiver. I don't know how... Oh, 6'3", okay, big receiver. So I like that. And then Riley Leonard in the updated jersey. I like Notre Dame. It's hard to gauge, with that schedule and what they do. They got a big one versus USC, I believe. Carson Beck struggling this year, but I still kind of believe in Georgia. We'll see. Isaiah Bond, Buford kid out of Georgia, went to Bama, now at Texas. He's only a junior, so a lot of people are high on him from a draft perspective, but he could stay. Ollie Gordon, very disappointing year, struggled with off-field issues, DUIs, and all of that. Kind of a bum this year after a historic season last year. And then Tez Johnson. Did we talk about him already? Yes. One of my favorites. Just a little dude. Not going to get a lot of draft hype. Jaquez Moore, not really any, but this is probably a bottom 10, 15 hit, I would say, in the product. Just hasn't really been a dude. Silas Bolden, originally from California, transfer from Oregon State. I don't think he's done too much this season. And then DJ Uyunglele. This is quite a box here. And Will Pauling, a guy that I like from Illinois. He's like third in the country in third down catches, which I think is a big stat for just, that's how big of a player he is. DJ Uyunglele, not great at all. And it's unfortunate, number one recruit coming out of high school out of St. John Bosco, goes to Clemson, is okay, then struggles, goes to Oregon State, and then is anointed as like an ACC champ at Florida State. I was never high on Florida State all offseason. I just didn't see it. You lost too much NFL talent, and their transfers, they were bringing in backups from Alabama, Auburn, Miami. It just didn't make sense. Ryan Williams, probably the number one long-term chase, in my opinion. I'm just not a Nico guy, so I will take that. Jacoby George, he's been a good receiver. Number 2 behind Restrepo, been at Miami for a little bit. I think he can return next year. Jalen Glover, probably one of the worst hits. He just hit the portal a few weeks ago. There's not much to it. He has not really ever been productive. And Pat Bryant, one of the sneakier sleeper guys, I guess you could say, for the draft. Nothing too crazy, but it is what it is. Aiden Childs, again, not a guy I'm high on, but Michigan State fans, they believe that he's the truth. Antoine Powell Ryland, sneaky guy. He, I think, leads the country or is in the top 5 in sacks. He'll be up there in the draft for sure. And Acropolis insert. Not a fan of these. This just looks like a little kid made these on Microsoft Word. And then Xavier Watts, a consensus All-American like each of the last few years. Cool. I like Xavier Watts. I think he's probably number 2 in the draft behind Malachi Starks, if I had to guess. Byron Brown, he's been really disappointing. Had an amazing redshirt freshman year and he's been hurt a lot this year. It was always game time decision. Is he warming up? What's it looking like? So really disappointing. I feel like if he was he would have been up there, not quite with Gene T, because that's like a magical historical season he's on pace for, but he would definitely be like a sneaky chase for sure in the product. Brendan Sorsby, a guy that I like, big quarterback out of Texas. He can run, he can pass. I could see him transferring out and up again. He came from Indiana as a freshman, then came to Cincinnati. I could see him going like Michigan probably thinks they're too good for him, but like I could see him definitely leaving. CJ Baxter, freshmanish All-American or All-American for the Big 12 or all-freshman team, took over, tore his ACL before the season, so that's unfortunate. Then Ollie Gordon, again, not amazing. It'll be interesting. He could maybe turn it around for the draft and people could come up and get him. Eugene Asante, transfer from North Carolina. He led the team in tackles last year and I think is having a meh year this year. Garrett Green, and just unfortunate with injuries. He's a gamer. I really like West Virginia. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I think Neil Brown is safe for the time being, but yeah. His dad played in the MLB and he is he's the pitching coach for the Brewers. Quentin Joyner, nice little yellow color match. I like that one a lot. I like Quentin Joyner. He was in Leaf Products. I was buying him up. Good running back out of Texas. He was an Under Armour All-American type kid, and it's clear when you watch USC they're trying to get him involved in the offense. I think he's got a future. Just Woody Marks having an incredible year, but they're definitely trying to feed him the rock. So I like Quentin Joyner there. I will sleeve that up after this. Will Shepard, transfer from Vanderbilt. He's a good athlete. I think he won the state championship in. All right, we're gonna get rid of Torian York. He won the state championship for high jump. One of the most productive receivers in, honestly, like SEC history. I think he's one of the best receivers in Vandy history, so that's cool. Allie Jennings originally started at West Virginia. He was not really a factor. Transferred to Old Dominion, became a dude, went back up to Virginia Tech and just been hurt. I think pretty disappointing for Virginia Tech fans. Dylan Gabriel, lefty, UCF, OU, my Heisman pick. I like him a lot. I will leave that. Oh, more color. Okay, I don't know how many colors you get, but Garrett Green on the first. West Virginia, one of those sneaky schools that is just a good card to have, and I think that they sell pretty well. So I like that. And then Josh Hoover. I've seen a lot of people high on Josh Hoover. Maybe not high, but they're like, oh, this kid, he's only a sophomore. He took over last year when Chandler Morris got hurt. And, putting up big numbers in that offense. They've got some good receivers, Savion Williams and Josh Becht. I don't know, not super high on him. Jarquez was in the product last year. Pretty solid, underrated running back, especially when you consider how underwhelming Auburn offense has been. Jeremiah Cooper, that's what I want. I will be collecting Jeremiah Cooper. So I helped recruit his older brother, Tristan Cooper. He was a 2-star kid out of El Paso. When I was at Arizona, he came over, and I obviously just followed Tristan and post football, would always post, Jeremiah in high school, and, all his offers and stuff. So I followed him all throughout his high school process. So that's cool. Cam Ward, we'll see. He could be number 1. Is it Shadur? I don't know, but that's not a bad first there. And then Omarion Hampton, I don't think he's getting a lot of respect, to be honest, in terms of just, I don't know, maybe. I haven't looked at his prices yet in this product, like not someone I'm out to buy a ton of, but I think he could be decent. I mean, he's put the team on his back, and they just fired their coach. So imagine he goes in the draft. Brew McCoy, he's been interesting. 5-star kid out of Mater Dei. He signed with USC, and then I think they fired Clay Helton, or he just asked to be released, and then he went to Texas for like a couple months, and then he went back to USC. Now he's at Tennessee. He's been fine, not really a factor. Blake Shapen from Louisiana, went to Baylor, was the starter, just kind of lost his, just wasn't very good, goes to Mississippi State, he gets hurt, and now Michael Van Buren's the starter. And Dylan Gabriel on the silver, I'll take that all day. That's a sick image right there. The Photoshops are really good this year. And then Oscar Delp on the second year. Not an Oscar Delp guy at all. People told me he was the next Brock Bowers, and I was like, huh? No way. So yeah, that was not it. DJ, James Pierce. People discovered this kid in the spring, and he was the number 1 pick. He was like plus 200 to be number 1 overall. ESPN is like the number one player in college football. Yeah, you know, him, like Will Johnson, you know, I guess, you know, you can't argue, but it is what it is. But he will be a top 15 pick. Jacob Harris, local kid, multi-year starter, nothing too crazy. KJ Bolden, number one safety in the country. I really like KJ Bolden, and I like the film. I hate recruiting rankings and sites, but I say number one safety in the country because it's like, I know there's going to be eyeballs on him, and a lot of people just blindly tail these. So it is what it is. Donovan Smith's second year. Shout out to some writer on some site. He had Donovan Smith as the number 2 quarterback in the draft, number 2 overall to the New York Giants, and he lost his job. That sucks. Devin Neal, one of the best running backs in the country, had a phenomenal game this last week. Local kid, the number 1 recruit in Kansas for his year, and Parker Jenkins, not a good one here. Was decent his freshman year. He's been hurt, and that's pretty much it. And then Matthew Golden. Honestly, Matthew Golden, he was at Houston. Good kick returner, punt returner, special teams guy. But I wasn't like super high on him, and he's having a fantastic year. I think he maybe leads Texas in receiving touchdowns, even over Isaiah Bond. So he's having a pretty good year. I like him. Just, you know, I'm not buying him, but I do like that he's making a name for himself, and I didn't really believe in him, so he's kind of proven me wrong. All right, box number 2. Box 1, meh, not what we want to see on release day with that Vitatio, but it is what it is. All right, Ayo Day, he transferred from Division II Harding University. I found it interesting that he stayed at James Madison when Signetti left. Antonio Williams having a great year, always been hurt, foot, leg, all these concerns, and I don't know, just now finally putting it all together. Highly ranked kid, Eugene Wilson, I really like, and then Josh Hoover. So hopefully, I mean, that was a long time for one hobby box, but now we'll get some repeats and we can start ripping through these. But again, I like breaking down all of these players. And it looks like we got something shiny. Abu Sama, not one of my favorites. He is a local kid for Iowa State. He ran for like 270 yards versus Kansas State in the snow last year, and that put him on the map. Chandler Rogers, I get why they put him in, but they missed here. Fernando Mendoza's their starting quarterback. Chandler's been around. He started at like Blinn College, then went Louisiana Lafayette, went to North Texas, lit it up under Eric Morris, one of the geniuses that helped groom Cam Ward at Incarnate Word. And then went to Cal, tried to parlay that into a Power 4 job, and just hasn't done anything. And then Connor Harrell. This will be interesting to watch. They just fired Mac Brown, so I imagine a lot of those kids start to transfer out. But he played in the bowl game last year and got some run, I think, versus Minnesota in week 1. Dalen Everett, IMG kid, just a solid multi-year starter. Donovan Edwards, one of the most overrated running backs in the country. Michigan fans wanted my neck when I said he wasn't a top 5 running back. Nice Dylan Gabriel on that one, and then Matthew Golden there. So yeah, Connor Harrell, just kind of a wild card, I guess. Again, the portal is just going to be crazy with all these guys. Man, I'm getting a lot of these. Oh, that kind of wipes off. Ethan Garbers from LA, or from California, started at UW, or went to UW, never played, and then just been there. Brother of Chase Garbers, who was at Cal and then signed with, or got drafted by the Raiders. Jacob Manu, Arizona. There we go. There's green behind us. Jacob Manu, not one of my favorite guys. I appreciate him and like the dog in him, but he's just such a dirty player that I'm like, he just takes things too far. Like after the whistle stuff, I'm like, dude, just clean it up. Pat Bryant there, and then a green. Georgia. Is this an auto? No auto, just green. Trevor Etienne on the green there. From Florida, signed with Florida, split time with Montreal for 2-3 years, 800 yards each year. Been hurt a lot, been disappointing. Garrett Nussmeier, I think he'll stay. He's one of like the sneaky or like more coveted guys from a quarterback perspective. Barrett Carter could have gone in the draft last year, probably a first or second round grade, came back for another year. I think he'll be solid. And then a Barrett Carter auto, base auto. So good thing I didn't say anything bad about Barrett Carter there. I don't hate this. Probably on release, $15 to $20 auto, but not, of course, who we're chasing. But again, not a bad player. And then Will Howard there. So Barrett Carter, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll take a lot of Clemson defenders. They've just got that history there. Jalen Walker, he was kind of a reserve his first 2 years in college, and then kind of turned it up, and now playing himself into a first-round pick. Jaden Otten, last year's set. He has been hurt all year. Every week it was like, he's going to try to go. He's going to try to go. Bowling ball of the back. I really like him. He torched Arizona as a freshman. I think he was Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, him or Damian Martinez, I don't remember. And then Donovan Edwards, bum, and then Xavier Watts there. Alrighty, so 1 auto down and a color. All right, Baishal Tutton, he's a transfer from North Carolina AT&T, and he has had 2 very good years at Virginia Tech so far. I think he had 1,000 last year. I think he's probably on pace for that. Cam Rising, his third year in the product. We'll see if he comes back for his 7th year. And then a teal. LaShawn Williams and Steven Jelly. LaShawn Williams, I'm not going to sleeve it. He just hit the portal and he just committed to Memphis earlier this morning, today on the release day. He sells pretty well, though. I sold all of his base cards that I had from my blasters. Daniel Highshaw, he's just been a backup at Kansas for a while, but he's a pretty productive backup, so there's that. Cole Pennington, son of Chad, not really much there for him, though. Not a very good hit. I feel like he's going to transfer to Kentucky. Taylor Green, huge 6'5" mobile quarterback. I like him. I'm sure we'll talk about him, but I'm just... okay, Matthew Golden there. Okay, so we can talk about Taylor Green. So he's from Texas, went to Boise State. There was all this controversy and just their head coach and their starting quarterback rotation. Then he ended up winning like freshman newcomer of the year at the Mountain West, led them to the Mountain West championship game, and then went to Texas, Arkansas, had a huge week 1, and his stuff kind of exploded. Kobe Bryant, I love Kobe Bryant. He's a sticky and just, man, he's in your pocket. I love Kobe Bryant. He's a first-team All-American corner, I imagine. Deion Burks, transfer from Purdue, just a bad year for OU. He's been hurt all year, that whole offense. Amika Ibuka, people tell me he's a first-round receiver. I don't really buy it. And then Sean Adkins there. Alrighty. So still looking for I think I'm Purple Shimmer and maybe some X Factors. I don't think I've hit those. Ethan Burke, he was a All-American lacrosse player, but otherwise I don't really know why he was in this set. Brett Gabbert, Miami's doing it. They're probably playing in the MAC championship. They've been everyone just has been losing and they've been winning. He's like a 6th year or 7th year in college and the younger brother of Blaine. Braden Fowler Nicolosi, I really like him. Just a down year for Colorado State, which is unfortunate. They have Torrey Horton, who I love, and he's been hurt. He got shut down after like week 4. He won the quarterback battle, had some decent quarterbacks behind or ahead of him, and then had the most yards in Mountain West Conference for last year. And then Tyler Van Dyke, unfortunate ACL injury. He's been around the block. I don't know if he'll medical redshirt. I like him from a draft perspective just because he's that prototypical Northeast 6'5", 240 rocket arm cannon. Gives me Will Levis type vibes there. Alex Orji, this guy sucks. I don't know how Michigan went into the season thinking that was their guy. Drew Allar, we'll see, big Ohio quarterback. He's got another year, so we'll see. Haven't seen much on him. And then we've got just repeats there. Acropolis. Drew Allar, I don't think is very good, but I get it. NFL scouts kind of have that decision made. Derek Moore, he's fine. I think he was like all Big Ten at some point in his career, honorable mention. Dorian Singer, originally from Minnesota, came down to Phoenix for the 2020 season for COVID because we were one of the few states that was still playing. Walked on at Arizona, was all Pac-12, went to USC, didn't do much, ended up going to Utah. Pretty solid at Utah, I guess. And then Ruben Bain Jr., not a bad one there at all. Not a guy who's going to sell well, but that's like a sneaky hold, I guess, if you're into that for the next few years. Like, he was a freshman All-American. He's doing really well this year. Nasty D-line at Miami. Ruben Owens, a guy in there we go. Guy in last year's product. I went heavy on him. He was like the #1 running back in the country. They didn't bring anyone in the transfer portal, recruiting. So I went heavy. Lower body injury kept him out for a year, which is unfortunate. Austin Mack, kid out of Folsom, California, went to UW. When DeBoer left, he followed him, so that'll be interesting. And then Ricky White. I don't know if we've talked about Ricky White. Tylee Williams, nasty run stopper. He's a big boy. He's gonna play a lot of NFL years. Ricky White, though, guy that I like, I think we have talked about him because I talked about Sluka, but guy that I like, 1,400-yard receiver last year, I think like 3rd in the nation. Jaden Higgins, he came from Western Kentucky. I got it wrong in my video the first time when I ripped those blasters, but he's a very productive receiver. Jeremiah Love, the sophomore running back class in Bowman University, very, very good. I like those. Donovan Edwards, don't care, and Quentin Joyner there. Alrighty. Roman Hemby, disappointing, man. He had a good sophomore year and just hasn't been the same ever since. More Carnell Tate. And Will Johnson, is that? Okay, there we go. Will Johnson, not a bad one. Michigan, I'd say, Georgia, then Michigan are the best two. Nick Scourton, transfer from Purdue, one of the best D linemen in the country. He's got first-round potential. I don't know why I'm sleeving this Will Johnson right now. Am I still looking for another auto? I am. I still need another auto. Will Johnson there. Solid. He hasn't played. He's been hurt. I felt like when EA College Football came out, he could have been 99 overall, and I have no complaints. Like, he's that good. Jack Sawyer, been in the product a couple of years. He's got first-round grades. We'll see. Jalen Daniels, disappointing season for sure. Yeah, I was high on him. I think a lot of people were just high on Kansas. Gavin Sawchuk, we talked about him. Nice little X factor there. And then Ricky White. I've been pulling a lot of Gavin Sawchuk, a good amount of Ricky White, and CJ Donaldson for sure. Jalen Noel, one of the best freshman receivers at Iowa State in like history, returns kicks, punts. He's been doing it all. He's a senior now. He'll be solid in the draft. Danny Dennis Sutton, kind of the sleeping giant, I guess, on the D-line at Penn State. It was freshman All-American by ESPN, and I don't know, just he's there. Emeka Ibuka and Will Pauling again. We talked about him. I really like Will Pauling, though. I think Bowman, people aren't going to be floored by the checklist, but I think the middle of the checklist is pretty solid with guys like that. Corey Kiner, he originally signed with LSU, was there for a year or two, then came up to Cincinnati. 1,000-yard rusher this year. He's going to hit it again. DJ Giddens, we talked about, and KJ Bolden. Nice. I like that one. And Ollie Gordon. So I like KJ Bolden a lot. I picked up some of his Leaf autos. My ears perked. Anytime there's a freshman in Leaf products, I'm like, okay, there's something there. Francisco, we talked about. Braden. Yeah, no logo on Hawaii. That kind of sucks. I hope that's not on all his cards because Hawaii would be a very good sell. Luther Burden, there's our guy. I'm not a Luther Burden guy at all. That was a joke. Everyone this summer was like, Luther Burden's the number one receiver in the country, and he's going to be number one off the board. I'm like, dude, what is he done? Why is he? What did he do? What does he do? I don't know. I've never seen him go up and get a ball. Never seen him make a play like that. Good gadget guy and fast, but I'm like, I don't see it. Carson Beck. Isaiah Bond, is this an auto? No, but Cam Scatteraboo, there we go. I mentioned this. I used to do hour-long breakdowns after each game. Caleb Johnson, one of the best running backs in the country right now. He, I think, is second behind Ginty in rushing yards. But Cam Scatteraboo, I talk about Cam Scatteraboo all the time, and I'm like, I'm an Arizona guy, whatever. I hate ASU. I want to crush them 169-0 this week. But and then unfortunately Scatteraboo blew up. I would go all in on his cards. He's a phenomenal player and a fun player to watch. We'll see. I don't know. Eugene Asante, we talked about. Garrett, Brady Cook, we talked about. And Jordan James, we got the auto. So I still need an auto, right? So hopefully this thing's just been cooking back here. Jarquez, we've talked about. Jeremiah. Oh, Big Kahuna. Caden Salter on card auto. Okay, I like that one. So I went heavy on Caden Salter this offseason. Big Kahuna, a case hit, and I love this year's design. I was never a Big Kahuna guy, but that looks crazy. There is some junk right there. You can see right by his arm. Maybe you can wipe that off. But this is the best Big Kahuna design that they've had, and it looks incredible. Sorry, Quentin, but we'll go there and actually... Yeah, okay, I'm fine with all that. I have no rhyme or reason to any of this. Let me just sort that. I went heavy. We'll talk about Kyron Jones then when I open some packs. Kyron Jones started at Baylor, or didn't start at Baylor. Coaches just kind of left him there, and then he transferred to Virginia Tech and really turned it on last year. Virginia Tech returned 20 starters. People were high on them. I was high on them. They lose to Vandy, and everyone was like, oh my God, they're terrible. I'm like, Vandy is not a bad team, y'all. Vandy is for real. Diego Pavia is him. But people were not happy, but they're kind of figuring it out. Caden Salter, I went very heavy on Caden Salter. He was he put up stupid numbers in his first year. Really, really good program and offense. And I just believed in them. I think they have some offensive line issues. And receiver, they lost TJ Daniels, but Jamie Chadwell created Grayson McCall when he was at Coastal Carolina. So I believe in that for sure. Just unfortunate, really disappointing. Liberty kind of been fraudulent. Cam Ward, we take that. Brew McCoy, Malachi Nelson, and Logan Diggs. Logan's been in the product for 3 years and been in a different jersey each year. Notre Dame his first year, LSU, and then hasn't played a snap this year. And then Malachi Nelson, a complete bust from the recruiting websites. They had him as like a top 5 quarterback in the country. Goes to USC, transferred to Boise State, and I applaud him. I'm like, hey, you can't go play at Boise State, but you can go play at, or you can't play at USC, but go play at Boise State. Go be a dude. And then credit to Spencer Danielson. Doesn't name him the starter. Goes with Maddox Madsen or Madsen Maddox, whatever his name is. And I guess he's not very good, so I guess Malachi Nelson can't be that good. Ashton Daniels, we talked about that. And then Pat Bryant on the first. Nick Anderson. Nick is a freshman All-American last year. I really liked him. He was a good addition in Bowman, but again, their top 6 receivers were all hurt this year. Their offensive line, they had to replace all 5 starters. I'm not a huge Jackson Arnold guy. At least I just hated his prices, which made me hate him in general because that's all everyone would talk about was this 5-star quarterback. But Nick Anderson's a good player, but he's just been hurt, so that sucks. All right, so 2 boxes in. I like the Caden Salter. I don't know how his resale market is going to be, but I think he could be a very solid transfer. Dominic Lovett, Brady Cook, Trevor Etienne, Malachi Fields. Honestly, probably one of the guys I know the least amount. I mean, he's just a solid receiver. Like I guess that's really it. It's like him and the Parrish kid out of Kansas State. I'm like, they're just there. You know, multi-year starters. It is what it is. Ben Morrison, Rod Moore. Eric Singleton, I like that one. And then Justice Ross Simons transferred from Colorado State. He's just been hurt, just been dealing with stuff. He considered redshirting this year, and I think he's just battling it out. Sorsby, Allie Jennings, Donovan Edwards, and Xavier Restrepo. I'm not going to pull that to the side, but he was one of my sneaky picks. Maybe not sneaky because I feel like he was kind of up and coming, but for me, I was like, this kid's going to lead the country in receptions. C.J. Donaldson, Davidson Igbenosum, Kyron Drones, and Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall is an interesting guy out of IMG Academy. He's the first, I think he had a pretty solid freshman year. He's the first kid in IMG program history to be a 3-time captain, which is crazy. Jalen Buckley, did I talk about him? He was a freshman. Yeah, I did talk about him. Purple on the Rashad Owens, and then Samuel Brown. Talk about both of them, so I'll keep him there. Samuel Brown was from Houston. I thought the better receiver of him and Matthew Golden, and I was like, yeah, pretty solid, but hasn't done too much. And Rashad Owens, been a decent receiver at OK State. Nothing too phenomenal, but had a great Big 12 championship game. Gabriel. Unfortunate. That's not what we want. Harold Perkins, I do like that. I would have liked that as a gold. This guy stinks, man. I can't stand it. I just don't know how Michigan, as a coaching staff, evaluated their quarterbacks and was like, yep, Alex Orji's our guy. He's thrown one career pass, and we're not going to add anyone in the portal, and look what that got you. So you get what you deserve. Jerwan Newton, Jaquez Moore, I think we talked about. He's not really that amazing. I love this 1955 insert, and Torian York was one of our autos, right? Or Purple Shimmer? I don't know. All right, let us continue. Silas Bolden, Byram Brown, not an auto, Devin Neal, and Trayshawn Ward. Trayshawn Ward, originally from Florida State. He was okay, went to Kansas State and got punked by DJ Giddens, went to Boston College. I thought that was a terrible transfer. They had Kyle Robichaux, and I thought he was better, and Trayshawn Ward's kind of leading the thing, so that's good. That's such a weird misprint there. CJ Baxter and Joseph Manjack. All right, so very long video, but you're learning, I hope. Ontario Brown, Carson Beck, Penny Boone on the X Factor. We talked about him. I like him. Bowling ball back. I would have wished RJ Harvey would have been the better chase. USF not going to be a very desirable team in breaks and such. Eugene Asante. Riley Leonard, Rocco Becht. Riley Leonard, I think, is going to be a pretty good seller. Notre Dame, very solid. Rocco Becht, I found out about this kid when he was a junior in high school. I do graphic design on the side. I got a DM from his quarterback's coach at Wiregrass Ranch High School. And he was like, hey, man, can my coaching staff get some Twitter banners for their headers and stuff and graphics and schedule I think I did for them. He's like, hey, I got this quarterback. You might want to start, keep an eye out for him, and I'll have you do some recruiting graphics. And it was Rocco Becht, which was crazy. We got some color back here. Garrett Green, Squirrel White we'll talk about. Jalil Farouk, not good. Not good. Oh, I got a knife right there. Jalil Farouk just been hurt a lot. I think he broke his foot like week 1. He was in the product last year. His autos sell for like $2 on ComC. Jeremiah Cooper, Cam Ward, we're getting quite a few. Hopefully we can sell those. And Thomas Castellanos in the portal, lost his starting job and was like, yeah, I need some time to process, and was like, Castellanos, a great runner last season. Bill O'Brien comes in, doesn't really use him, and he's not a great quarterback. He's just a good athlete. I'm curious where he ends up in the transfer portal. Jackson Dart, Klubnik, we talked about. Riley Leonard, getting a ton of those. Ishmael Mahdi, nice. I like Ishmael Mahdi. He was a transfer from Houston Baptist. I think they changed their name recently. Been a pretty productive runner. Not the season that Texas State wanted, though. DJ Kinney's an amazing coach. He'll definitely get a job, a Power 4 job at some point. Blake Shapen, Ashton Daniels, Donovan Smith, Yuck. And Will Campbell, he'll likely be number 1 off the board for O-line. And we'll talk about Squirrel White finally. Squirrel White, one of the fastest guys in the country, but a disappointing year. He would have been like one of the most, I guess, disappointing-ish guys, I would say, in the product. DJ Lagway, we like that. Eugene, Dog. Oh, holy, there we go. That's a solid one. 1 of 50, 1 off jersey number. Will Johnson. I love that. And someone in the Discord the other day was like, wow, that's gold. A yellow or even gold color match is going to go crazy. So this was a Michigan box with that Alex Orji. That's a fire card right there. Okay, whew. There's a lot of like dust and stuff all over. Okay, see you, Nick. But Will Johnson, definitely a solid one there. I like that. And then Jaden Maeva. He's a transfer from UNLV. He's I think he's from Hawaii, and then he came to California for high school, and then was okay at UNLV, and then now he's starting at USC. He's okay. Walker White, Amari Daniels, we talked about Amari in Hampton, and Ricardo Hallman. I really like him. One of like 2 players last year in the country with 7 interceptions. He's a freshman or an All-American last season, so I like that. Gene T will take those base. I'm just going to throw that over there. Dylan Thieneman, we've talked about, and then Thomas Castellanos on the first. Quinshawn in the updated jersey, I like that. I think one of the best running backs in the country, just not, I don't know. I don't know why people aren't talking about him, but he put up 1,000 yards for 3 yards straight in the SEC. Crazy. Evan Stewart, Jacob Zeno, Abu Sama, Mitchell Evans there. Abu, not a guy that I like. I think he was just hyped up from his 276-yard game versus Kansas State in the snow. So not ideal. And then Mitchell Evans, but he will sell well because he's a local kid to Des Moines, Iowa City, whatever. Sorry if I disrespect Iowa there. And then Mitchell Evans, disappointing year. I bought into his stuff in Leaf because he was kind of like tight end 2 or 3 in mock drafts and stuff, and just didn't really pan out, I guess, and just was hurt last year. Meh. Dane Key. Cade Klubnik on the. That's numbered. Not bad. I mean, his stuff, I'm not going to sleeve that, but his stuff doesn't sell super well. Mason Graham, though. Mason Graham. He might go, I don't know. I haven't seen him in mock drafts lately. I think he's one of the better interior defensive lineman guys that you could get. You could really play him in a lot of different places, but I imagine he goes top 10. Same with James Pierce, Jacob Parrish, Donovan Smith, and Jalil Fruit. So we got both autos out of it, right? Yep. Will Johnson. Did I get 3 autos? I don't know. All right, we got a couple more packs here. Devin Neal, Ryan Williams, that's who you want. I'm going to throw that there. Will Campbell on the refractor. TJ Harden, I like TJ Harden. With Deshaun Foster being a running back guy, I really like him. UCLA priced pretty cheap in breaks, and I mean, I just think he's a fun player to watch. So that would be of interest to me. And we're not. Oh, Nico. There we go. Nico Iamaleava. I find him to be overrated. He was one of the first guys, like, NIL hype was a real thing. Like it was like there's this number 1 kid out of Downey, California, and like Tennessee fans were painting on the rock, we want Nico, and his NIL deal was like $8 million, which I think at that point, and maybe still is like unprecedented aside from Michigan. Bryson Barnes, I like Bryson. Just unfortunate that Utah State just brought in a really competitive quarterback room, but he's just a grit and grinder. Played defense in high school. One of the best Utah quarterback. I think he has like the passing touchdown record in Utah history. And then started at Utah. Started when Cam Rising went down. And I was like, this guy can play. He's a mini Cam Rising. And then goes to Utah State. They bring in Spencer Petras. They still had Cooper Legis at that point, and I think they brought in Jacob Conover from BYU and ASU, and he didn't win the job, so that sucks. Acropolis, Noah Fita, there we go. And then Mello Dotson, one of the better I'm done with this box. One of the better cornerbacks in the country. I think Kansas has like one of the best duos at corner in the country, I would say. So that's cool. I think he's got another year. Why am I struggling? I think he's got another year. But I like Mello. I like Kobe Bryant for sure. All right, last box. If I had to rate these first 3 boxes, not great. The Will Johnson certainly saves us. Jordan James could be decent, but not an ideal box opening here. Abu Sama, not my favorite, but we'll see. Maybe we get something big here. Austin Mack, Jaden Higgins. I think we've talked about most of these guys now. So hopefully this last box gets us something good. I see some purple here. Roman Hemby, Carnell. Oh, that was not purple then. Justice Ross Simmons. I don't know. All right. Francisco, Braden Shager, Ontario Brown, Jordan Hall. Base. All right. Carson Beck, Isaiah Bond, Acropolis, Samurai. All right, we're just getting hit with pure base, and we've talked about, I'm pretty sure every guy, have I hit every base card? That's another thing. I think complete sets would be the way to go if you rip enough of this product. If you can pull them all together, I think that's certainly a thing that I like to do when I start sorting, although this takes a very long time to sort. Antoine Powell-Ryland, kind of a color match for Virginia Tech-ish. I don't know. But he'll be a nice first rounder. I like him. I like him. I don't love him, I guess. Brett Gabbert, Nick Anderson. Wow, all right, so everything's just sitting in the back of these packs. Ricardo Hallman, I bought into a player break of his for like $1. I didn't watch the break. I guess I'll have to watch the recap here. Alex Orji, Jalen Buckley on the first refractor. Not bad, but Western Michigan's just not going to sell well. But I think he could transfer out and up. I think he could be someone your favorite team should target in the portal. Asante, Nico, there we go, and York. Good golly. Not even, I guess we could have refractor, but not even, okay, there's our X-Fractor. Jarquez, Jeremiah, Omarion Hampton, that's not a bad one to hit at all. Trayshawn Ward on the back there. All right. Drew Allard, Derek Moore. Nope, nothing. What if I just get skunked on these autos? Alrighty. Jalen Walker, Jaden Ott, Nico. I'll take all the Nico I can get. Now, do you grade some of this? I don't know. Quality has been on some of this, but I think it could be worth it if you're into that. I also just like to sell on release hype, but I also get, you could also be first to market. Cam Scattaboo, nice one there. Malachi Nelson. I don't think I've hit a Malachi Nelson first. I think I've only hit the 55s. And here we go. Brandon Innes, God, one of the most overrated prospects in the country, in my opinion. Overhyped. Makuba, okay, we haven't hit Makuba. He's originally from Austin, went to Clemson, was an All-American, then wanted to go back home for his senior year. He's been playing out of his mind. We got a backwards card. Rashad Owens, Braden Fowler, Nicolosi. Not bad, but a lot of these group of 5 guys are just not going to sell. Like they have fans, right? But there's only so many. Garrett Nussmeier on that one. By Shaw Tutton, Barrett Carter, Quentin Cooley. I don't think we've talked about Quentin Cooley. Quentin Cooley transferred from Wake Forest. Didn't really do anything. Sat behind Justice Ellison. And now 1,400-yard rusher. I think he's on pace for well over 1,000 this year. And hopefully an auto. Nope, Eric Singleton. Little dimple there. That's unfortunate. Montrell Johnson. We haven't pulled any Montrell either. Montrell, one of my favorite guys from Louisiana. Sun Belt Player of the Year at Louisiana Lafayette. Transferred over to Florida, and he's been doing pretty well. Deion Burks, Amika, Path to Glory. Kyle Williams. I really like Kyle Williams. Transferred from UNLV. Been productive each of the last 4 years. Probably a 5th-round guy, but I believe in him. Jack Soy. Oh, we got a gold. Okay. Normally I haven't been like slow rolling or anything, but gold. Oh, that's a quarterback. Is that a quarterback? Red? Maeva? Who is that? Jackson Arnold. Okay. Not my favorite guy, but I mentioned I've never been like that on Jackson Arnold, but I will say now is the time to buy Jackson Arnold. I haven't been replacing these. Those are still probably my 3 best autos, I would say. I'm just not a Jackson Arnold guy, I guess, just for the price, just because of the price and where everyone hyped him up. I'm out. But now I've been buying some Jackson Arnold because I think it's not a terrible. That one's backwards too. So probably my numbered card, Amika Ibuka, on the, what is this, teal, aqua? I never know what they call it, but not a bad one. That'll sell for sure. Ohio State goes crazy, and, again, potential first rounder there. Jalen Noel, Danny Dennis Sutton, boom, Joseph Manjack. All right, so still, I think we've hit an X-Fractor. I think we've hit all our color. We're just waiting on this last autograph here. Let's see. Corey Kiner, might that be our auto? Nope, Malachi Fields. Okay. I almost threw those away. So what do we got? 4 packs left. 4 packs left. Still need, right? I still need an auto? Maybe, I hope I didn't hit. Oh, there's the auto. Maybe. We'll save it. We'll save it. We'll save it. We'll save it. Maybe we'll watch this be the auto right here. Derek Moore. Blue. Not bad. I'll take the blue. I'll take blue color match, Michigan, anything like that. I will take that for sure. I sold this X-Fractor on release day for $10, I think. Dalen Everett, Donovan Edwards, Ollie Gordon, Thomas Castellanos. All right, so I feel pretty good that was my auto. And those are a Fractor auto, so that's good. As long as it's not like Cole Pennington, I think we'll be okay. There's an X-Fractor. Jacob Manu. Carnell Tate, that's not a bad one. Again, you want those big schools. Just Michigan, Ohio State, LSU. All right, let's see what we got. It is a first. What helmet is that? Boise State? Oh my God. Why? Why do you do that to me? Malachi Nelson. Oh, brutal. Brutal way to end it right there. Wait and hold, wait and see, I guess, for him. But, all right, this was so disorganized, but I guess our heavy hitters there at 140 a hobby box. Hey, I'll rip this any day. I enjoy it. Beautiful Caden Salterado, nice Jackson Arnold, and a Will Johnson. Got teased right there. And then a couple autos. So we're going to grind this out and see what kind of profit we can make from this. I'll maybe complete some sets and go about that route. But that's everything. If you enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you learned something, let me know what you did. I've got some more. I've got megas on the way. I've got some other boxes coming in. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you next one. Peace. Love ya.